We are two guys, one cup.
Everyone relax. It is Thursday, the 26th of February. Welcome to Two Guys, One Cup, an AFL adjacent podcast. I'm Charlie Clausen. I would be joined by Will Anderson, but he is still in preseason training, just getting his training loads up. He's wearing the fluoro vest before he gets to full contact. So in the meantime, we have brought in one of the hottest free agents in the podcast comedy market, Broden Kelly.
Everyone panic. It is me, Broden, instead of Will. I know how it feels when you have a sub in on your favourite show, so I extend my apologies to all of you. I can do a good Will Anderson in my head, but I don't know if I can, like, on the spot. I don't know how good it would be, but I'm a big fan of this feed. I'm sorry. I will do my best to bring the Northern Rivers energy to this.
Well, I mean, there's only one of us in the Northern Rivers these days. Will is back in the home of football in Melbourne, but I will sweat for both of us because it is a balmy 32 degrees and 40% humidity right now as I record this. I actually went up to the Gold Coast to watch the practice match last week. I watched the Saints and the Suns, and that was a unbearable game of football to sit through, just in terms of comfort levels for the crowd. Like, it's funny to sort of see people at the footy dressed like they're going to Surfers Paradise. Like, there was literally people getting around in bikini tops and sarongs and that kind of stuff at the footy.
It's Gold Coast, and you guys have been talking about this for years, as you know, their brand can be far right, but you know they're getting a Trump Tower, right? You saw that last week. It's happening.
Yeah.
So, you know, they can really lean into being this Florida-looking football team. And as they get better and better, you know, who knows what will happen up there.
That should be their training base. They should have a custom-built training facility on the roof of Trump Tower.
Yes. We can call it Mara. Is there some sort of pun on Mar-a-Lago they can do? Sort of.
Mar-a-Lago. Who's a player? Miller-Lago? Miller-Lago. They
yeah,
can call it Miller-Lago.
Yeah, Miller-Lago. I mean, we'll do some brainstorming, I think. But let's just Noah-Lago, as in Noah Anderson.
Noah-Lago. Jamara-Lago.
is the clubhouse leader at the moment.
Let's not put too much pressure on Jamara. We just want him to concentrate on footy this year. But let's talk.
Right.
Let's talk off-season for your team, the Demons. A lot of upheaval, a lot of comings and goings. Dead wood has been cut out. New wood has been brought in. How are you feeling about the D's in season 2026?
I have an epiphany in the off-season, and this is my first platform to be able to say it. But in 2023, when I started doing my footy pod, I left a game early. I left a game early at the MCG. Melbourne were down by about 14 points with 5 minutes left or something. And I said, I'm done. I'm out of here. And I got on the train and I got to Clifton Hill Station. And I watched on my phone as Cozzy kicked the game winner with 5 seconds left. And that started a week of utter pain for me. That started a week of, you had me on this stupid show, and then Jonathan Brown called me Tiny Dick, and then I was on Front Bar, and they lampooned me, and I remember just, you know, really not having the time to really mentally go back through, and it wasn't until this preseason that I realized why I left early, because I remember what I thought was we might come back, but we're dead in the water here. We're deadwood. Yeah. All of the dead words you said before. They never, after that grand final, they just kept doing the same thing for like 4 years. And there was, every time we'd talk ourselves in the off season into, but this year they're going to fix the problems. And it was so blatantly obvious in like the middle of 2022 that nothing was going to change. And now, even if everyone's touting us as bottom 4, and I'm okay with that because it feels like there's forward momentum, at least. You know, it's like, it's not the same ensemble doing the same thing again. At the very least, it's something new, by golly. That's how I feel, to be honest.
That makes a lot of sense. I remember there was a D's fan, a listener to this show, who, when I was sort of talking about the Saints being like the Charlie Brown of the AFL, he was like, let me send you a list of everything the Demons have done wrong in the last 30 years. And this was prior to you guys winning the flag. And then in the wash-up, well, now with some perspective, you look back and you go, oh, God, like they did win the flag, but it was the COVID year flag. And that's got to be another thing that, like, oh, look, a flag's a flag. I'm not taking that away from you. But I think a self-hating Demons fan might look back at that and there's a bit of chagrin, right? Like that's like we had this list, we had this coach who was like on fire for at least a season, and it happened to be in that goddamn year. That's so Melbourne.
Yeah. Well, by the way, talking about like that's so Melbourne, I'm reading Ben Crow's book, which is called Where the Light Gets In. Do you know Ben Crow? He was integral to the Richmond Flags. He's I think like a wellness or a mindfulness or a coach. He's one of them, change the way you think kind of guys. And he, in his book, says the sentence, I think, I'm going to misquote it, but he says, the term Richmondy became common.
Oh, yes.
And I went, that's Will and Charlie's thing. That is, and he's like, it just became part of the vernacular. That is entirely your work.
That's not the only book to quote it. Ash Barty's autobiography, because she's a big Richmond fan. She talked about, I'm a Richmond fan, but for so long, there was this term bandied about by the media, Richmondy. And it's like, it wasn't the media. It was us, goddammit. And specifically, it was me.
There's Ben Crow is Ash Barty's mindfulness coach, so that makes sense. But there needs to be, you need to go back and rewrite it and you are the people who started Richmondy, and you need to own that and have that.
Well, yeah, look, I don't want to get petty here, but I started it. It was my idea. It was my term. And then Will popularized it, and then it became Will Anderson's Richmondy, and then it became the media's Richmondy.
You need someone like Charlie up in the Northern Rivers, just thinking of these, left of field ideas. But then you need a Will, a Gruen transferring Will to really market it. Yeah. That's what you need.
Now, Broden, this is our preseason preview episode. I know we're cutting it very fine. The season is just around the corner. But you're aware of
it's actually ridiculously so close. It's like, I don't think anyone's brain is mentally prepared for that. Football is on next Thursday, man.
Yeah. You know what it is? It's the little month. February is the little month. So the fact that it starts so early in March, like we just need that extra 3 days to get us to a big month. You know what I mean?
You need to write, I want Charlie's big book of little names. You call February little month. You got Richmond.
I don't think that's mine. I don't think I invented
little
that.
month.
I'm pretty sure I stole that from someone else.
Okay.
But yes, football is around the corner. And a lot of the 2 guys, 1 cup fans have been clamoring for some hot takes on every team. So we're going to do it. Let's do it alphabetically. So what we're going to do is we're going to test each other, because I don't know the answers. James is standing by with the answers for us. We're going to go through each club. We're going to see if we can name the coach, captain, and reigning best and fairest winner. Obviously, for Melbourne and the Saints, we will. Oh, you know what? I'm actually thinking about it. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, no, I do know. Of course, there's only one player at St Kilda who's winning everything. All right, but we're going to start in Adelaide, your hometown or your place of birth or something.
Whatever it is, my weird connection with it, yeah.
Your weird connection to Adelaide. So, Broden, who is the coach of the Adelaide Crows?
I'm embarrassed at how well I'm going to do at this, because sometimes, like, I know a lot. I'm obsessed with this shit. So, but so Matthew Nix is the coach of Adelaide, and he's going into a danger year for him, because they had an incredible run last year where I think they played North 18 times, and then so they've got a harder fixture this year. So he's on watch, I think.
And the captain would be Jordan Dawson, right? He's the captain.
Jordan Dawson from the Sydney Swans. I believe he's the he's the captain.
And I would hazard a guess and say he's also their reigning best and fairest champion. Can you think of any other contenders? Thorpe?
Riley Thilthorpe. I think he maybe missed too many. Or did he? I don't even know. I just assume he's one of those in and out of the team ones.
Here's what I think about Adelaide is this show's all about vibes, but whenever you have to think of an Adelaide best and fairest winner, there's always some guy who just wins like 4 of them in a row. Like it was like Crouch, or it was like the other guy, Bodie or whatever I'm just making names up now. But there's always a guy who just wins 4, but you've never heard of him. Jordan Dawson, I think. Jordan Dawson is, I've heard of Jordan Dawson, but I think he's going to win by the time his career's done 4 or 5. So I'm going to hazard a guess and say he's probably their reigning best and fairest winner.
I think this is so on brand for both my show and your show, but I remember him having some sort of uptick last year. Like he had a drop off year and then he was back in some way. But Adelaide's a weird one to start. Yeah, he's a weird one to start with. They're a weird one to start with because I think of Adelaide as a team. Like I just think of all their forwards. I think of Rankin and Rochelle and Fogarty and Thilthorpe and Tex. And then I can't think of any midfielders, which is the problem. Which is and then their defenders, they've got Curtin and a couple and others, but Dawson
You're right.
is the
one. They've got some big stars in the lead roles, but then it's like who's the supporting characters again? All right. So James, can you reveal? Okay, Coach Matthew Nicks, Jordan Dawson, rating best and fairest Jordan Dawson. Okay, good start by us, Broden.
Fist bump. Okay, good.
Fist bump across Riverside. Now, the next step of what we do on our preseason preview is we rank top 6, middle 6, bottom 6. Don't try and keep track of it. Just go with your gut. If we end up with 12 teams in the top 6, that's fine. Where do you think the Crows? Now, keep in mind, injury interrupted start to the season. There's a lot of bad luck going on down at the Crows.
I think it's a danger year for them. And I've just remembered that, despite the fact that my credentials are I write sketch comedy videos on the internet, people get incensed with this, like what we're about to do, the audacity to put a team in this. So this has all just come flooding back to me, even though we're in the little month. But I'm gonna put Adelaide middle 6 because I think they was the straight sets of the finals last year showed that they aren't quite there yet. I don't think they got any more midfielders, which is what they were lacking. They got Finbar Maley, who is a gun of a bloke. Do you know Finbar Maley?
No. Sounds like an Irish folk hero.
He's a gigant. He's the son of Adelaide 36's star Paul Maley from the NBL. His sister is Annalee Maley, who's one of the best players in the WNBL. And he was a ruckman for North. He showed signs and then said, "Get me out." And so now he's the kind of another ruckman tall dude. I'm excited for him. But apart from that, they didn't get that many people. And I think their fixture's going to be a little bit harder this year. What do you reckon?
I think that ever since that Collective Minds camp where they terrorized their own players, there has been bad mojo around the Adelaide Crows that is akin to what Essendon are experiencing. They need an exorcist to come down. They need to do a cleansing ceremony. They need to wave some sage around because they've had some bad luck. And I think the luck, you can't just put it down to, coincidence or random chance. There was that game against Sydney where the goal umpire signaled a point when it was actually a goal. Then there was Isaac Rankin's brain fade last year. Now there's the injuries this year. I agree with you. It's a danger year. I think something bizarre is going to happen this year. There'll be another bizarre event that will happen that will confirm that they have been cursed since the Collective Minds experience from 10 years ago.
It's a really weird period in Adelaide. I think part of what you're saying is very right. I think they're going through some sort of spiritual and literal rebirth because for a long time,
that's very Northern Rivers. Now you're talking my language. Go on.
Let's get real. So Adelaide Crows were the reason for a long time that anyone talked about Adelaide, respectfully, right? So it was Rundle Mall Balls and it was the Adelaide Crows, Mark Rasciuto, Andrew McLeod, right?
Yeah, Tony Modra.
And then this bloke, Malinauskas, right, has rejuvenated or has just changed the DNA of this city. They've got the live golf, they've got the gather round, they've got the riders festival and the fallout from that. There's just, for right or wrong, there's shit happening there now, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden,
I think Dwayne Russell was due to speak at the riders festival, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. He was. He was boycotted as well, big time. Pipe. So where do the Crows fit in the identity of modern Adelaide? This kind
That's a
of
good question. More
where do they sit?
On the international
Because
stage.
What did they used to do? Bash a Vic, or what was it? Or kill a Vic, or kick a Vic, bash kill a Vic. And I don't think that sits into the metropolitan gluttony. Will Anderson's there right now performing at the Garden of Unearthly Delights, right? That's the modern Adelaide. That is.
There's no punch-ons at the Ramsgate anymore. Like, what's going on?
No, it's interesting open talks as part of WOMAD. You know what I mean?
So they're going through an evolution. Adelaide has to move with the times. They have to become woke. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think they've got to be the antithesis of the Suns. You know what I mean?
That's right.
I think they've got to be the Adelaide Crows. That's what I
love it. All right. I also think middle six. But, I mean, I forgot that it's a final 10 this year. Middle six doesn't really, it's not as damning as it used to be anymore. But let's move on.
Can I just say as well, because there's 18 teams, I'm loving the vibe of this. You probably have a life to get to, but I'm loving this. So if this takes 4 hours, I'm down for it.
I know this may take a while. We've given one of our producers, MJ, permission to leave. He has other commitments at 1. And I said to him, if we're still going, just leave. Broden and I will keep talking.
He produces real podcasts, right?
Yeah. He's got actual shows to go produce. Yeah. He's just sitting in. This is like a zoo visit for him. All right, moving on to the Brisbane Lions. Wow, what a team. What a club. Strange little preseason drama with Chris Fagan's comments about players and what they're getting paid and the best. It's clearly Zach Bailey's getting some Godfather deals.
I love that was what you called out as the controversy. It's the most Gilda take from their captain has stood down for Wayne Carey off-season levels of,
it's not Wayne Carey. It's not in his own sandbox. It's morally reprehensible, but yes. I feel like I don't think it is. I mean, yes, it's a controversy, but I think it has been so played up in the media because they need to move some Murdoch papers. I don't think it is the big controversy. I think the world's most lovable coach, everyone's grandfather, coming out and saying this fucking guy doesn't deserve that much, or that guy doesn't. That's fucking more of a shock to me. He's saying that a rich young athlete is sleeping around with his best mate's wife. Heard it all before. Chris Fagan has done a heel turn. Now that's a story. That's John Cena, Chris Fagan in terms of heel turns in the last 12 months.
Okay, I accept that. I'll accept that. But I loved Ross Lyon's response of that classic AFL bloke thing where something's been said about them in the media. They've thought about it without ad nauseum, without taking a beat for 3 weeks, and then when he's asked about it, goes, "Who said that? What was
what did he say?"
Oh, right, yeah.
I know.
I love
Has
that.
A perfectly formulated response to the thing he didn't hear in the first place.
Oh, I'm not across that. Yeah. But no. Do you know what's deep in? Okay, we'll go through the questions. Let's go through these.
Okay, let's go. So we know the coach, Chris Fagan. We brought that up. We know the captain is. I think they've just announced dual captain. So Lockie's out. I believe it is Harris Andrews and. It's either Dunkley or McCluggage. I always get those two confused. Do you know which one it is?
Yeah. I'm going to say Dunkley with no confidence, but I think of Harris Andrews as the guy.
There's 3 of them, I think. I think it's 3.
There used to be 14.
Saints announced 2 captains, and then Brisbane announced 3, and I think that was another case of this brewing rivalry between the Lions and the Saints. So I think it's McCluggage, Harris.
They have a weird captain situation up there. When I think of Brisbane, though, when I think he's the guy, he won the Jim Steins Award for advocating for to anti-violence against women and domestic violence support. He could have been the Norm Smith medalist. He's the general down back. He's got no arrogance about him. He's the guy in my mind.
So what are we saying of the captains then? So just
I think
it's 3.
Remove them all. I removed them all. Lockie Neal was one, but now he's gone.
Yeah, but who are they? We've got to name them. That's the game.
Yeah. What I'm saying is I don't know, so it's not important. In my mind...
It is important. We have to know. It's McCluggage, Andrews, and who else would it be? Like, is it Dunkley? Dunkley,
Yeah,
Logan
Dunkley
McCluggage?
feels
That
right.
doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right. You're
maybe,
not going to give an
maybe.
ex-Bulldog.
No, you don't reckon?
I don't think so. Who would it be? I can't think of one other captain-like player there. Harris
They
Andrews,
might go
he's
one of the
general
younger guys.
Oh, like not an Ashcroft. There's no way he's too young for that.
The Ashcroft, even though they're more decorated than
Two Norm Smiths.
everyone else. 2 Norm Smiths.
It's crazy.
Goal of the year, 2 premiership medals. Yeah.
Amazing hair, just like Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse hair. So good.
So I did a Google ad with him like a week before he became a dual Norm Smith medalist, and I got to spend 15 minutes with this 21-year-old who could actually genuinely be my son almost, and didn't care for it. Did not care for. He's a lovely guy, but just really pissed me off.
How successful and focused he is.
Just the muscle sinews, like the ability. It's just
this is the best time of the year for that too. The players come back, they're all tanned, they're all oiled up and stuff. It's like a best in show for footballers. All right, let's just move on to who do we think the reigning best? Oh, the answer's just been dropped in the chat. I'm gonna have to close my eyes. Rating best and fairest winner. Who would it be?
Best and fairest for last year.
Yeah, they have so many good players.
Yeah, that's a hard one, and it's I'm just going to say Will Ashcroft because that's who I'm obsessed with for them.
Yeah, I'm going to say Anne Ashcroft, and I don't know which one. Okay, the coach is Chris Fagan. The captains Harris Andrews, Hugh McCluggage, Josh Dunkley. Oh well, I did say that at one point.
Done.
We didn't settle on it, but best and fairest, Josh Dunkley. Good on you, Josh.
Okay.
How about that? I don't think I could pick Josh Dunkley from a lineup. I know who he is, but I don't know what his face looks like.
Classic indiscriminate midfielder from a football club who's really, really good. That classic, like, no idea what you look like unless you play for my club. Like, I couldn't draw a picture of just Dunkley still.
All right. Where do we think the Lions are? Pretty easy. Top 6, right? That's a no-brainer. Potential three-peat.
With an asterisk, something in my gut, and my gut is a bad gut. Like I need to get some kombucha into my AFL gut. But
again, I'm talking to the right guy. What do you want? I'll hook you up.
I think that they don't do it again. I think something tells me that they might not get there this year. That's my feeling.
The Lucky Neil of it all.
Matt, I think that probably will have zero impact, but I think going back to back is just so incredibly hard. They're the first team to do it in about 6 years, I think, or something like that, since Tigers in 2020. So I think that it will I just think someone will get them at some point. I don't know who though.
I don't know. They've just got such depth. Like you look at their list and it is insane. I mean, their quaffle side would beat most AFL sides. Like I understand where he's coming from. It's hard to stay hungry for 3 years in a row, but I just think in terms of just talent and firepower, there's not many better teams. Okay, let's move on.
I think it's to
the sorry, no, we do. I'm looking at the time. We've done 2 teams in the space of 23 minutes.
I love this. I'm so happy.
We'll move on to the Blue Baggers. James, can you just drop in the chat if you have things to do after this? I mean, you can go. Broden and I are happy to keep talking. Just give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you're happy to stay with us. All good, great. Okay, so the Blue Baggers, pre-season champions, absolutely hot form. I have quite a few Carlton fans, and it's been a very morose group. I think, the St Kilda raid, Charlie won and out. They weren't happy. A lot of hopes rested on Mick Jagger, and boy, can that kid play! Like he looks like an out and out. You see certain young players, certain high draft picks, and you go, oh, you can build a team around that, and he is one of those players for sure.
He's got a weird little. He looks like Dacos. He doesn't look like a big imposing midfielder. But I was watching him last night dominating, getting a goal in the first 5 minutes of their pracky, and I thought, I can't wait to see how Carlton ruin this young man. I can't wait to see him be Sam Walsh and Patrick Cripps. This
lower
bearing
back
the brunt. bearing the brunt of this in this massive organization that are self-sabotaging. Can't wait. But he could be the savior. He's got that, he's what they need more than anything, which is young hope. And if Walsh, Cripps and him are in the midfield, that's actually properly exciting.
It's kind of a double-edged sword being a Carlton player, isn't it? Because when you are loved, you are feted upon. I imagine you don't pay for a meal or a drink on Lygon Street. Like it is, you've got the keys to the city. But when Jack Silvani left for the Saints, he wrote what I thought was a very thoughtful, very heartfelt post on Instagram, thanking the club for his time, talking about, growing up there being a kid. And then it was just 1,000 comments of "go rotten hell, you piece of shit." It's like, oh my God, in some ways, it's like being in the worst abusive relationship where you have to stay with them because you're scared if you break up, they're going to absolutely destroy you.
My summer pastime has been sending my Carlton mates photos of Charlie Curnow, who does just look immaculate in red and white. And he looks so happy. He looks so happy up there. Because Sydney fans are the antithesis of Carlton fans. Is they're interested, but they're not. They're not going to scream. They're not going to start online. Lawyers aren't going to start online chats that become huge successes. Like what are they called? Beyond Blue, is it? Or what is it? What's the
Blue Abroad?
Yeah, Blue Abroad.
Terry Blue Abroad. Yeah. Which is basically like a huge cottage industry. Like their fan base is so large that he can do a YouTube channel dedicated to one team and make a living from it. It's insane.
and it's a great show. It's properly
really
brilliant. So I look at their list and I'm sincerely worried for them because I think players like Ben Ainsworth coming in don't move the needle enough for what they need, I think. But, I hope they go well. I really do. Yeah.
I feel like they're in a bit of a similar position to the D's, but the D's seem to have more green shoots popping up. Like, I don't know enough about Carlton's list and who they've got in the wings to be as optimistic. What do you reckon about Sam Walsh's new haircut? The long, sort of shaggy do. He's been a short back and sides guy for as long as we've known him, and now he's got like this indie rock and roll. Like, could be playing at the Corner Hotel on a Friday night with his indie band.
To be honest, it really scares me, and I'm affronted.
It upsets
by
me.
I
have a physical reaction to it. I'm like, I'm not enjoying this. Cooper Sharman at the Saints is the same. He's been a short back and sides guy for 6 years, and now he's got floppy hair. I'm like, ugh, don't like that.
To quote The Simpsons, you could set your watch to his hair, and now there's this kind of new era. He's just got a long-term contract, and he's not getting his hair sorted. I'm a bit worried.
Yeah. All right, okay. Who do we think is the coach of the Carlton Football Club? I think you have actually interviewed this guy.
Yeah, if people don't listen to my show, which is completely fair, we interviewed Michael Voss at this time last year, and they invited me to go down and do weights with him in the gym, and we had a very light-hearted, fun, morning of doing weights with Michael Voss. And then they said, essentially, like, we'll put this out after the Richmond game, and we were perfect.
Yeah, when everyone's feeling all good and upbeat, we'll put out that fun bit of content. Good.
And then got a call the day after that. Saying, can we just let's hold off on
the
that
fun and the ha-ha.
And then I think it was like, let's wait. It was till we win a game. Let's hold off. And then I think it came out like 6 weeks later, or something like that.
I don't wish the worst for most Carlton fans, but that reaction to their round one loss to Richmond last year was possibly the most fun I've had in footy in years. Like watching Blue Abroad and watching those Carlton fans lose their fucking minds was hilarious.
Spiritually, it was the moment of last year. Because if you remember last year, the opening round was supposed to be 4 games. It was down to 2 because of monsoons. I'm sure you remember those.
Yeah, I remember.
And so the season started really milquetoast and really, it was a bit, it felt a bit
fart.
limp. It was a wet fart. And then the Thursday night came, and a team that was supposed to never win in that year went 1-0 against Carlton, who people were putting in the top 2 and 3 on their ladders.
This is their year.
And it was a fucking jolt to the heart of the season last year. Like, it brought everyone alive.
Backflips at the MCG.
100,000 there, 100,000 just watching. What are we watching? It was so important.
All right. Who is the captain of the Carlton Football Club?
Patrick Cripps.
And who is the reigning best and fairest winner? I'd say Paddy again. I don't know. I think he had a good season last season.
Yes. I remember Curnow. Curnow's not the winner, but I remember didn't he have to make an awkward speech at some point, maybe? Or was it De Koning?
No, TDK. No, he started really well last year, but then he got hit in the throat or something, and then he was checked out for the last 10 games or so. Okay. All right, James, can you reveal the answers? Michael Voss, Patrick Cripps, George Hewitt. Describe George Hewitt for me. What does he look like, Broden?
He's one of those guys who played for another team, and I knew what his face looked like. And then as soon as he wore navy blue, he just looked like another dude with like dark hair.
What position does George Hewitt play?
He's a midfielder, and I think he was okay last night in that practice game. But you wouldn't I could not pick him in a lineup. He's just a dude with dark hair. He probably went to some sort of private school in Melbourne, and I could not pick him out of a lineup.
Okay, top six, middle six, bottom six.
I'll go middle six, respectfully.
Middle six, yeah. I'm going to go bottom six. I think it's going to be a bit of a development year for the Blues. I mean, I like Michael Voss and don't wish for anyone to lose their job, but you got to say his job will be in danger this year if my predictions are correct.
Yep.
All right, moving on to your favourite team, the Collingwood Magpies. Another fascinating case of a team that has loaded up with experienced players and hanging on to their veterans, maybe just for one last shot at it, but very
oldest team in the league, I think.
Yeah, and Darcy Moore, Jeremy Howe, De Goey, all these players aren't even going to be ready for opening round.
Lou Richards.
Having said that, though, they do have the best player. So I just got that. Good one. Louis the Lip. They do have arguably, if not the best player in the league, then I think one of the best players to watch in Nick Dacos. I watched him in that State of Origin game. And I always sort of think that I've seen everything that Nick Dacos can do. And I've been on this bandwagon for a couple of years now that does everyone realize that Nick Dacos is changing the way that people play football? Like the way he uses the ball, his vision, the way he doesn't rely on the ball spinning perfectly. He just gets it to where it needs to go. Almost like a soccer player. Watching him in that state game when he's surrounded by other guns, it's like, he went to another level again. So I think if the Pies are going to do anything this year, it'll be firmly on the back of him just being an out-and-out champion. But I worry that they just don't have the legs to go an entire season. As you said, oldest list. And I think the shine of Fly, Craig McRae, has worn off a bit. I think he's been surpassed now by other coaches who people like more.
I've been forecasting their demise for about 4 years now, but this is the year they drop off this year.
Do you think if you're forecasting their demise, we can then ask them to put themselves in their will?
Yeah, how good was that? How good was that? Yeah, they're not the only ones doing that, apparently.
I know. Of course not. But I mean, my high school sends me emails like, "Hey, how you feeling, buddy? You want to
really?
We're building a new gym. You want to contribute to that?"
It's such a strange thing to do, but it made me think immediately. This is Melbourne's point of strength. Our fan base are just trust holders. We should absolutely be reaching out to people, but. I did enjoy that, a bit of off-field drama from Collingwood. I just don't think they got better in effort with anyone under 30. Who did they get?
That's a good point. No, you're right. All their guns last year were kind of veterans, like Jamie Elliott, and apart from obviously Dacos.
They've lost Majacek, and they've lost Mason Cox. Is maybe not in their best 22, but not a fringe player. And their model is to go and get a Dan Houston every year because we are such a destination club. This is where you want to be.
It's like the Geelong rebuild on the run kind of philosophy, right?
But I don't think they really did that much.
Yeah, I can't actually think of any young players, but that's also just my own one-eyedness. I did see Bo McCreary at Gold Coast Airport 2 weeks ago, and he did look very fit. He looked very fit going through security. I was like, you know, what's funny about Bo McCreary in real life is he doesn't look like a footballer. He looked like a tradie because he's got that long sort of curly hair and he's wearing sort of sloppy sweatpants and a sloppy t-shirt and whatever. And I was like, oh, your face looks familiar. And then I was like, oh, you're Bo McCreary. What are you doing on the Gold Coast?
That's just where tradies with curly hair feel like they belong.
Well, exactly.
I think he's a South Australian. Yeah.
Yeah, if he rolled up his pants and he had like a tattoo of a Grim Reaper on his calf, I'd be like, oh, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, good. That's how you get through security there. Well, that you belong here. Welcome. But last year, their coach is Fly McRae.
Yep.
Their best and fairest, wasn't it? Not Dacos. Didn't he not win the best and fairest? And it was a big controversy.
That was the year before. I think Josh won it the year before. That was the controversy. I think he did win it this year. I think.
Did he?
I don't know. No, you got me.
I'm going to say he didn't. I'm going to say
Jamie Elliott. No.
That's a good. I'm excited about
Jack
this one.
Crisp, was it one of those kind of, you know?
I reckon I'm going to say Crispy. I'm going to say Crisp won it.
All right, I like that. I've got basing on nothing other than your confidence, and Darcy Moore's the captain. Let's reveal the answer, James. Craig McRae, Darcy Moore, Darcy Cameron.
There you go.
The
I don't
Ruckman.
like that one bit. I don't care.
No, like that stinks.
But yeah, because I remember the controversy being that he didn't win the Brownlow, but he didn't even win his own BNF. So
has he won a best and fairest yet?
I reckon he did. I don't know. I have no idea.
James, can you just see if Nick Dacos has won any best and fairest and just drop it in the chat so we know? Because that would be weird, right? Like, I know there was that conversation a couple of weeks ago. He's a victim of his own standards.
Yes.
But that's hilarious. Like, I think we're negging Nick Dacos a bit too much, guys. Like, as an industry, let's acknowledge he's a good player.
Sometimes having another player on the field who looks exactly like you can have a positive or a negative impact, I feel like. Sometimes, even if people are half guessing, maybe that thing that I saw maybe that was Josh, or maybe that was Nick. Maybe that divides the points a bit. But if you're Bont, everyone knows what Bont looks like, even though he hasn't won a Brownlow.
All right. Nick Dacos won his first Collingwood best and fairest in 2024. Okay. So he won it, and then Josh won it the following year, and then Darcy Cameron. All right. Where did he split the pies? Top, middle, bottom?
Bottom 6.
Is that just a bit of Broden bias, trademark coming out?
Yeah, I think they're not my number one loathed team anymore. I've softened on them, and I think that is an indication that their spirit might be, their light might be fading. I just think looking at the grand final, at the prelim last year, they had moments of like power, but I think that they've seen the top of the hill. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't like it. Their hips are hurting. They're about to fall down that hill. I think they're going to be middle 6. I just can never discount that backs to the wall. They're a big club, a lot of pride. They win games that they shouldn't. Like, we played them opening round, and we look primed. Our new recruits, hardly any injuries, flying through the preseason. It's exactly the kind of game that Collingwood will win with no players, backs against the wall at the MCG in front of 100,000 fans. We'll lose that. They'll win. That's the kind of game they win. So I'm not discounting that.
Sunday night at the MCG with Labor Day or something the next day, isn't it?
It's going to sold
be
out.
Huge. That's
huge. I know. I should have come down for it. I was toying with the idea, and I was like, I don't know if I can. And then it's too late. I can't get in now.
Yeah, well, maybe for the best. Who knows? But then you got the D's next week, and I'm telling you, you will have room. There will be room in the MCG.
All right. Let's move on to the Essendon Bombers. I watched a YouTube video last week when I was driving back from the airport. I had like 40 minutes to kill. So I put on, I didn't watch it. I was listening to a YouTube video, I should say. But it was some homemade video some footy fan had made about what happened to Essendon. Like, why are Essendon in this state? And it was this history of Essendon from the 70s through the 80s, Sheedy, to up until sort of the Stephen Dank thing. And it's like, it really is a remarkable fall from grace. I think it's sort of happened so incrementally that we sort of have not really acknowledged just how dramatic it is, how bad they are now, and how powerful they used to be. Like, Carlton's fall from grace was a bit more spectacular. They got the cheating scandal and the draft picks taken, and we all laughed at them. And then they were just shit for 20 years. Whereas Essendon has sort of been this kind of up and down, and then it's. Do you remember after the Stephen Dank thing, they sort of bounced back a little bit. They recruited really well. It seemed their draft picks seemed really exciting, and we're like, oh, okay, they'll be back in 2 or 3 years, and then kind of nothing. It's a bit like Adelaide for me. Where I'm like, I think there's a hex on this club spiritually. They can't get their shit together because they haven't atoned for the sins of the past.
The atone for the sins of the past is absolutely right. I remember growing up, and there was no team you feared more than Essendon. They were just so scary. Insiders actually on ABC on Sunday were talking about there was 2 teams that were got for drug scandals in Australia at the same time. One being the
Canterbury
the NRL team.
Was it the Canterbury
Bulldogs? Was it Bulldogs?
Something like that.
What was the other one? Sharks? The Cronulla Sharks, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
That's worth fact checking before I accuse anyone of. But they, from Chuck in Storm too. They drug cheats. No, but the NRL team supposedly said, okay, we'll cop up, and they kind of bore the brunt of their punishment. And Essendon kept kind of denying for years and years and years, and that's kind of carried on and had a lasting effect that's lasted 15 years now.
It's still the same board, and that's the problem. Like they still have that mentality. There's been no real kind of acknowledgement of wrongdoing. There is still this kind of like, oh yeah, sure, it was wrong, but it's like you've just got to cop your whack. They haven't done that yet. I mean, Kevin Sheedy's still pushing. I saw it like a quote from him from 2 weeks ago saying, oh, they've missed a trick not getting Herd back. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
What? Yeah, they were. I was thinking the big 4 in Victoria used to be Collingwood, Carlton, Essendon, Richmond, right?
Yeah, or Hawthorn in the 80s, you could say.
Hawthorn in the 80s. Hawthorn. But Essendon, you would never consider Essendon a big 4 team now. It's an absurd thought.
Although we are their bunnies. They always, even no matter how shit Essendon are, they always sort of manage to beat us. So I think we have the most lopsided win-loss scorecard against them.
Geelong have taken their place pretty firmly. I fear them so much, and the thought that Essendon were ever at that level is such. There's kids who are driving around on the road right now.
Yes.
There's people on the road.
Essendon only know them as a basket case.
Yeah.
Well, when we had Terry from Blue Broad on this show, and I was saying to him, the big light bulb moment for me, watching his YouTube show last year and all those Carlton fans ringing up and crying and tearing their hair out, is I realised that Carlton fans now are like St Kilda fans forever. Like the ones who were born Melbourne, in the late 90s, and Terry said to me, he's gone, I've seen 5 wooden spoons in my life. He's gone, I have the old blokes tell me that they've seen 5 flags. Doesn't mean shit to me. And I'm like, I used to tell people I've seen 5 wooden spoons, but I also didn't have any older blokes saying they'd seen 5 flags before that.
Yeah. Not to get too existentialist, but I'm having memories of things that happened in 2015 and going, that happened a couple of years ago, and it's fucking 11 years ago, man. I'm going to die soon. I'm so old.
Potentially on this show because we are going so long.
But what was the question? Essendon? Brad Scott is the coach.
Yeah. Captain is, Zach Merritt.
Yeah.
Who is it now?
And
Jordan Ridley?
Now it's that.
No, it's McGrath. Andrew McGrath.
Yeah. Andrew
McGrath, who's another player whose face I can't recognise. I know he's a little nuggety brown-haired guy, but I don't know what he looks like. Reigning best and fairest would have Zach Merritt.
I think it's Zach Merritt.
It has to be. Right? I don't know how else it could be. All right.
Yeah.
Brad Scott, Andrew McGrath, Zach Merritt. Yes, we're right on the money there. Okay.
Bottom 6.
Bottom 6. Yeah. Let's turn to a happier story. The Fremantle Dockers, the St Kilda of the West. A lot of excitement around them. Their coach is on a game-by-game contract. I love it. I think it's very Freo. Their coaching contracts are as flaky as the team and the club themselves. A lot of excitement around them. Very disappointing final series. Should have done better. Couldn't beat Gold Coast at home, but maybe that says more about Gold Coast. Right, let's get the facts out of the way. We know the coach is Justin
Longmire.
Justin Longmuir. We know their captain is
Alex Pearce.
Alex Pearce. I was going to say Luke Jackson, and we know that their best and fairest winner would be got to be a Brayshaw, right? Or no, Sarong, Caleb Sarong.
It would have to be Sarong.
We're going to lock that in, and we were right. Fuck, this is great. Yeah. When Will and I do
we're
this,
great. Yeah,
you and I,
we'll be going, this is what you do, and there's something in that, and I want to drill down on this. That's my Will Anderson. This is what we are talking about here. Is that when you are at a game, you will not do that because that's my Will.
I don't understand what you're doing, but I love it.
Do you know he gets on a run like that where he's like, that's what we need to talk about now, and that is why if there is a game at MCG, you will be at it, and because of this, he has a run like that. You know he does that.
Yeah, tangent. He goes on a tangent. Okay, so what do we reckon? What do we reckon about the Fremantle Dockers? Flag mantle, is it a pipe dream? Can they take down the Lions? Can they beat the Suns?
They must. Otherwise, like, they're doomed forever if they're not a proper top 4 contender this year. Their list is maybe it's only, I think, competitive with, I think, Gold Coast and Brisbane is the best lists in the league. They are so stacked. Their forwards are all guns, and they get goals in different ways. Their midfield can hit you in so many different angles, and their backline, if Alex Pearce stays, fit as well, is so strong. I feel like Mason Cox will actually play for them as well for some strange reason. I think Darcy. The ruck is the weird thing. I feel like Sean Darcy is going to struggle real bad. Like he is the model of a player who is going to get fucked by having to run and jump. Luke Jackson's going to maybe be the best ruckman in the league, but I think Darcy's going to be a bit of an albatross.
What a topsy-turvy world we live in, where this is how we're talking about Fremantle and West Coast are a basket case. I mean, talk about the powerhouse clubs and the change of fortunes. But I agree. Like, they've got to finish top 4. I think anything less than that is a real failure. But at the same time, if they were to not even make finals, would you be surprised?
I think they'd be one of those teams where if things just went, there's a part of me that wouldn't be surprised, but then I'd be looking at like a Buckley or a Longmire to, like, that'll start happening quite quickly. All these big name coaches would be desperate to go over there, get a few. Get a nice mining house, and then just stack up with a very, very good team. They're still so young as well. Like, they can do a bit of a Melbourne, and they just need to be up and around it, and then the right circumstances will hit one year. They're a team who I think could get Brisbane on the right day.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I reckon that, look, I'm excited. The fact that they can play 11 games at home. So that's they should not lose at home this entire year. Maybe to Brisbane, but even then, they're as good as. So if you give them 11 wins, I can't remember who was saying this, but it was like, maybe it's on Fireball. They're talking about minimum 17 wins or something to get to the top 4 this year. And it's like, fucking hell, that's a lot of games, especially for the teams that have to travel from WA. But I reckon Freo, they're a good shot. So yeah, I reckon top 6 for me should finish top 4. I fear for Justin Longmuir if they finish anything lower than 6. I mean, anything lower than 4
totally
really is going to be trouble. Okay. We'll come back to Victoria and talk about the Cats. The Geelong Cats at Skilled Stadium, GMHBA. They've just put some new seats in, another 2,000, I believe. Got $4 million from the state government to build 2,000
Well, they
seats.
needed it. They needed it. They need that money.
It is a great ground. I went for the first time in 20 years last year when I was down in Melbourne, and I was very impressed. Saw Catman going around.
They have 13 gates. The MCG has 7 gates to get into 100,000 seats.
They've got a bloody chin-chin.
They've got a chin-chin in there. But they've got this thing, because I think they only play 6 home games there a year or something like that. So the staff there, when you go to the MCG, the staff are like, I know what's going on. But when I went there last year, the staff are like, I've never been here before. I don't
know where anything is.
I went up to this lady and I was like, we're going up to the top level. Is there any food up there? And she looked back at me. She looked me square in the eye and said, no. And then I walked upstairs, immediately just the biggest kiosk you've ever seen. I was like, what? Who worked? Anyway, but it is lovely. But yeah, though, you can't. That was a horrible grand final from them, and I feel like they got off scot-free. I've not heard one criticism of them ruining the grand final at all.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, no, it was terrible. And they often say that when you humiliated a grand final, then you have a massive drop off the next year. But Geelong strike me as the kind of team that will buck that trend. They just don't.
You can't do it to them.
They're never bad. They're just never bad. Chris Scott, best coach going around, maybe besides Fagan, but different in different ways. I think Chris Fagan's a good mentor, whereas Chris Scott is just like a military leader, like a fucking General Patton. Type
He's starting
coach.
to say things like you hear in the NFL a little bit. He's starting to say phrases like, like I don't think he really coaches anymore is the vibe that you get from hearing from the players. Like
right.
Pre-season, that he doesn't even talk to them. Like I think they did a Warrnambool game or something recently, and I don't think he went.
Have you ever seen Ross Lyon? Sometimes on 360, Ross Lyon and Chris Scott will do the coaches' night together. Have you ever seen them as a double act?
No.
This is something that I had really great. They're mates. They're actually good mates because Ross finished his career at the Brisbane Lions when Chris and Brad were starting. And they alluded to this on 360 when they were joking. They were talking about a night they had out together where Ross got the young guys into trouble and they were laughing. And I was like, pause, tell me that story. I want to know what Ross Lyon and the Scott brothers got up to in Brisbane in the late 90s. I can't imagine. They're so different. They're so weird. But I'm like, oh, maybe that's why. Because one's like a total fucking like military precision, don't fuck with me kind of coach. And then you got Ross, who is like whatever Ross is, just that kind of free form, completely eccentric weirdo. But it's a perfect buddy cop comedy.
Yeah. No, and they both have that mentality of they impose on you that they are a super coach. Like it's imposed on you.
That's right. Okay.
In the way they talk.
So we know Chris Scott's the captain. Chris Scott's the coach. Danger is the captain, is he not?
Yes.
Still the captain?
Yes, he still is the captain.
And who had a good season for the Cats last year? It would probably be like
would be Bailey Smith, wouldn't it? Bailey
Smith had a great year. I don't think
had some injury in the middle, maybe.
Holmes, Smith, or who's the other one? Atkins had a good year as well.
Holmes. I think it's got to be Holmes.
Max Holmes. All right, we'll go with Holmes, James.
Yeah.
Chris Scott, Patrick Danefield, Max Holmes. Fuck, high five again through the Riverside. We're doing so well at this. I cannot imagine a drop off, but I'm going to say something controversial. I think they're going to finish middle six.
That's my instinct too, but I'm going to go top six because I think they just will. Like whatever they're like a VCE, like it's like advanced maths is whatever you get, add 10 to your score because it's really hard. So Geelong's just they should finish middle six, but they will finish top six.
Okay. I like it. Let's move up near me. The Gold Coast Suns, as we said, soon to move into Trump Tower. Where is that? Surfers Paradise? Is that what it's in? Broadbeach?
Yeah.
Like that?
In Queensland.
The Suns, the practice match I attended last week, the scratch match, I reckon there's about close to 600 people there. And I'd say that 3/4 were Saints fans. There was not a lot of Suns representation there. I think that is a concern. Success will bring the crowds, maybe, but people who live on the Gold Coast have other things to do besides watch football. That's the problem. That has always been the problem with every sporting team that's tried to establish themselves on the Gold Coast. Also, it has been last year was very wet up here. This year it's been very muggy and humid. So I don't think you're going to, early in the season at least, you're going to see many great home games at People First Stadium because it's very slippery.
Charlie, let me give my alternate take on the Gold Coast. I was up there. Yeah. I know you live up there and you are with the people of the land, but I was up there for 19 hours at the ACTA Awards.
Oh, that's right. We missed each other.
And I was surprised how often I got stopped about the footy from Suns people who live in the area. Yeah, really. Talking about, I feel good about this year, still not sure, or they apparently had some sort of launch down at Surfers next to Ripley's, believe it or not, and that was a big vibe. I think they will eventually, whether it's this year or if it's in 10 years, they will eventually be unstoppable because of the academy they got, right? And when that happens, there's a chance it changes the DNA of that entire area, because for the first time ever, they will have a team who is worth going to see. Yeah, that wins.
And they are worth going to see. Like, even they had none of their midfield was playing. There's no Anderson or Rowell or anyone, and they still look good. Like, Leah Lombard looks good.
I love Lombard.
Even Jamara got a couple of touches. Like, Jamara, you see him in the red, and you see him in the Gold Coast, and it's like, oh, this visually makes much more sense than being in the western suburbs of Melbourne. This feels right. I reckon there's going to be some razzle dazzle. I can't. They don't really. They're like Fremantle, right? Like, you can't see a lot of flaws in the list. But
no, they are still young, right? All their players are guns, but they're young.
Apart from Witts and Took, who, but they're still in their prime.
And Petrarca as well, I'd put in there.
Okay, let's go through it. So Dimmer Hardwick is the coach. Captain was Noah Anderson. And best and fairest would have to be Matt Rowell, right?
Rowell or Anderson, yeah, I would say. But I'll go Anderson to keep it interesting.
Okay, let's see, James.
You were
Hardwick, right. Anderson, Rowell. Dude, have we got one wrong yet? Yes, we did.
No, you. Yeah.
Who did we get? Collingwood. Collingwood stuffed us up.
Yeah, Darcy Cameron.
Yeah.
No, I just hope the Suns are good. I hope the Suns are good.
Yeah, look, for Tom's sake as well, Tom's, when I used to say to you a couple of years ago, I'd send you a little discreet message saying, hey, does Tom have an issue with St Kilda? And you're like, no, I never noticed that. And now that the show's done and Tom's been messaging me, he clearly dislikes St Kilda. Like, he doesn't like us. The mask is off.
Yeah, no, I think that's probably. I think he hates Carlton more, but right. Definitely he has something against the Saints.
But no,
I have them top six.
All right. Yeah, easily top six. Okay. Moving on. Another expansion team, the Giants, who have been one. I've always had a soft spot for the Giants. I just love the way they go about it. But I have some concerns, Broden, going into.
I think that's
season.
fair.
I think that they had a real window, and I just think that those guns that they had in the window, your Toby Greens and your Josh Kellys, and Ward's retired and stuff now, but Whitlock, Whitaker, Whitfield, what's his name? The halfback, skinny little guy.
The box of chocolates. You doing the box of chocolates?
Yeah, Whitman's. Yeah. I just feel like they're tapering off enough, and I actually have more concerns over the Giants than the Suns, really, in terms of if they drop off in that Sydney market and it takes them 4 years to rebuild. I don't know. Like,
totally.
It's very hard to get people to their games. And I hate, my most recent hated team is Sydney. Like, the last few years I've really come to dislike Sydney. A lot of it is around their fans, and their fans are incredibly snooty about the Giants and constantly mocking them and their low numbers. They get the 8,000 to Beanstalk and stuff. And I always want to grab those Swans fans and say, I remember in the 90s, you dickheads, before you got Ron Barassi, when you guys would barely get 5,000 people to the SCG. Give them a chance. Give them a chance. Let them play the Wings. And the Giants have been performing at an excellent level for a longer period of time. So back off. I don't like the critics, but I do fear for what's in store this season.
I had two mind-altering experiences last year with regards to the Giants. I'll firstly say as well, I'm so behind the Giants this year because Paddy, who was on my show last year when we wrapped up our show, he has now become the new head of socials for the Giants. So
big shoes to fill.
So yes, he's been in the seat for the last month, and he's doing great work, and I'm happy for Paddy, and he's doing well.
Shout out, Paddy.
The two mind-altering experiences I had last year was one doing a show in Penrith and driving there and saying, they fucking really love the Panthers, man. They really, like, the shopping centre or like the RSL there is called Panthers. And everything is literally red, green and black. And is it yellow? I don't know if there's yellow in it. But, and then, so I'm like, they love sport out there. And if you engage in that community in the right way, then fucking they could definitely, even if they got half the support the Panthers get in the West, then like, holy shit. The second thing, go on, you want to say something, Charlie?
No, go on.
The second thing is I went to the Battle of the Bridge out at NG Stadium last year, and I expected it to just be fully Swans. And there is a contingent there. Like, they're definitely still the smallest team in the league, but I was blown away by how many. I thought there genuinely was no one, but they are there. So I just hope they can hold on because, they reckon they're going to bring in a 20th team, and I feel like that the biggest detriment. Like, the biggest problem with that would be Giants, I think, because wherever they decide to put that team, Giants all of a sudden aren't the pet project.
That's all I was going to say was the point you just made is they do have fans and they're very hardcore. Like, Alex Williams, friend of the show, has taken me to quite a few games. He's an ambassador for the Giants, and I love how much not only they've got their sort of expat fans, but the way they're trying to bring new fans in and putting the rules up on the scoreboard and stuff. Like, what does this decision mean? And all that kind of stuff. I think it's really, really good. But success would do wonders. Like, if they could just snatch a flag. I can't see it happening. But
so because Paddy's now at the Giants, I went out to their game at La Trobe University last week because I've got a lot going on. And by the way, more games at La Trobe Uni, I think. It's got it good. And it was but I was blown away by how good they look because I'd written them off entirely because Bedford, Tom Green, they've got so many injuries, important injuries happening, but they still looked really. I think they could be a bit of a Hawthorn where really important players are injured and it just doesn't matter. So I'm actually churlish. Churlish? I'm feeling good about them.
What does that mean? Okay. I'm feeling girlish about them. I'm all giggly and excited about them.
I feel pretty.
so pretty. Okay, Coach Adam.
Churlish is rude and impolite. I don't know why I feel that way about the
Giants. Captain is Tobes, and their reigning best and fairest would be Jesse Hogan. No, he had an injury interrupted year last year.
Not Tom Green.
No.
No, Callahan.
Bedford.
I might go
had
Callahan.
A good year, but I don't think it was that good. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Tom Scully is my other guess.
I don't know. I've got Tom Scully.
I was waiting for it to drop.
Tom $ Cully.
That's right.
I don't know. I absolutely have no. I'm going to say Finn Callahan because I can't think of anyone better. Can we have the answers, James?
Tom Green.
Okay. Good stuff. Hey guys, Charlie here. This episode's going on a bit longer than we anticipated, so we've decided we're going to split it over 2 shows. So come back next week to hear the second half of our season preview with Broden Kelly.
Little footy loving dickheads, dreaming about a Premiership Cup. We love our clubs, but they never win. 2 flags in 100 years. That shit house. If you think we'll be insightful, clever, or just well researched, we're here to say that's not the case. We'll just go out and wing it. We are 2 guys